Hello folks and welcome back to Ben in Berlin. Bit of a different video this week because we're going to go and explore some of the best graffiti in Berlin. Because I believe this graffiti defines Berlin in many ways. Not sure what I mean by that. By the end of this video, you hopefully will. Let's go. And also we'll be chat-lattling about why Berlin has so much graffiti and why it's so important to this city. This concrete canvas is nature's gallery. And what makes these pieces of art so special compared to physical galleries is that they're free. So if you've been to London, Berlin, Rome, Bucharest, Lisbon, and other places on postcode planet Earth, you may have crossed paths with the dancing people. Maybe you weren't exactly sure who they are, what they stand for, but you're in luck, because that's exactly what we're going to go and search for today. Behind me here is the artwork, It's Time to Dance. And these pieces of work are actually quite badly damaged because the building is in pretty bad state. It's Time to Dance is a project by the French graffiti artist SOBR, or SOBR, not sure how it's pronounced. Pieces of art are all part of Berlin today. These characters who are dancing, moving, being wild, partying, and most of all being free. And that kind of defines Berlin today, doesn't it? These pieces here aren't a brilliant representation of the work. Let's go and explore somewhere else. We can see some more of It's Time to Dance. But who is SOBR? Well, there isn't much about him, her, them online, but we believe the project It's Time to Dance hit Berlin in 2012. Once you start seeing them, you'll spot them all over the city. Graffiti isn't just a creative expression of writing, scribing, drawing on surfaces in public places. It's about changing the way you see and discover art. Now, if you've seen my other video, How to Find a Place to Live in Berlin, you'll know I've told the story before about the whole gentrification of Berlin and why it's such a shitstorm right now in terms of renting. But a great example of this in Berlin today is right behind me, because here you can see the two different worlds of Berlin as it's changed over the years. You have the authentic, just here, scribed in graffiti, and next to it this modern, a bit ugly building. And that's a great example of how Berlin is changing and transforming. So in the area of Hackeschermarkt right now, and we're going to go now into a treasure trove of all the most famous graffiti artists at the moment in Berlin. You come off the busy shopping street and start to go through this alleyway, and you're taken through into a courtyard which is covered in incredible graffiti. And when you're walking through here, you'll discover many famous pieces that you may have seen, photos of Berlin. You'll spot pieces that intrigue you, and also you'll then spot It's Time to Dance, which is just there. It's Time to Dance resonates with the citizens of Berlin because it expresses that movement and the techno history that Berlin has. It's the vibrations of Berlin in tune with the infamous nightlife of this city. These confetti-clad people are enjoying life and enjoying freedom. And what these pieces of art have done is taken a snapshot of that freedom and then positioned it all across the city. Supposedly these images were taken at open-air raves and then reproduced. You've frozen that feeling of the bass dropping and the beat kicking in. It's that moment of pure ecstasy where your body is taken over by the music and by the rhythm of what you're listening to. It takes over your body's movements. you guys can hear me over the trains because they suddenly got a lot more active. Just wait for that train to pass, a little bit noisy. It's the viaduct of the S-Bahn, the Overground Railway line. But once you start spotting these pieces of art, you see them all over the city. But there's now an Instagram profile called Techno Painting, and they're linked, it seems, to the Time to Dance project. And there's loads along this viaduct, loads of pieces. Some pieces have been badly damaged, either by the weather or people trying to take a piece, but some bits have been really well preserved, like just here. And actually here you can see the banner going across here. It's time to dance, it says. And also you'll find these codes all around them, and sometimes they're massive, like this one just here. So these rectangular pictures you'll find all around the It's Time to Dance project in Berlin. And I think they look a bit like one of those mazes you try and follow. Some say they look like QR codes as well, or some sort of tribal pattern linked to the beats of the techno music. People feel connected by these pieces of art because they are united by a single form of love, which is freedom. These arts are bringing joy to those who see them as they walk around the streets of Berlin, but the other places where the It's Time to Dance project is displayed. Hopefully when they see them, they'll get that vibe, jump off the wall and hit them, make them feel that good feeling inside. And you can see these additional elements to the dancing silhouette, that tape that says it's time to dance wrapping around, and some of these rectangular pictures that we mentioned earlier. What are these pieces of art? They're like stencils to a time of fun. The colours are quite simple, aren't they? Just greys and blacks. But Berlin today is often defined by its graffiti. And this form of expression is an integral part of Berlin and the culture of this city. Some say it's an underground scene, but I think that's a bit bull because some of these pieces of art are more famous than the pieces in the galleries, and Berlin has hundreds of galleries. But I guess when it comes down to it, the importance of this graffiti is that it contributes to the uniqueness and creativity of Berlin. And these expressions of body movements to heavy beats encapsulates Berlin's ambience, its vibe. At night time, you can imagine these characters jumping off the walls and immersing themselves in the culture of Berlin, in the famous nightlife of Berlin, before going back to their home before dawn. But maybe you're wondering why I've taken you down to the River Spree and the Hauptbahnhof, the main railway station just behind us. And the reason we're going to end the video here is that just down the street here is another piece of the It's Time to Dance project, and I think one of the newest in this city. But before we go and have a look at that, I just want to say thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video all about the It's Time to Dance project, SOBR, the graffiti artist, and probably my favorite piece of graffiti, art project in graffiti in this city, because I believe it encapsulates the vibe of this city. Really noisy here, so I hope you can hear me. There's cars everywhere, the train's above us, but I think it's fitting to end on this one because this is one of the biggest pieces I've seen, still intact, and you can see it's still pretty new because this is graffiti, because the confetti, you can still see the colours, and it's dotted all around the picture here, and it hasn't been tampered with, so nobody has come along and tried to, well, not really try to rip pieces off, they've not tried to go over it or anything, and it's just a wonderful piece, and you've got, you know, a good 10 or so characters in this one piece, and a huge one of these tribal patterns just here next to it as well. If you enjoyed this video, show it some love with a like. Leave your comments on your favourite graffiti artists in Berlin. And then finally, but most importantly, subscribe to be part of the Ben in Berlin gang. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.